Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for The Amazing Spider-Man issue 15, the epilogue of Spider-Verse. Before I start talking about The Amazing Spider-Man, just want to give you guys a couple updates. Of course, I have Comic Uno episode 87, and that's the show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show, and here are those exclusive comics. We got Curb Stomp issue 1, Future's End issue 43, Graveyard Shift issue 3, S.H.I.E.L.D. issue 3, Fantastic Four issue 643, Earth 2 World's End issue 21, Batman Eternal issue 47, Effigy issue 2, Flash issue 39, Spider-Man 2099 issue 9, and Flash just fell. Little Mermaid issue 1, and All New X-Men issue 38. So if you want to go check out all those reviews, go to Comic Uno episode 87, which is annotated. But let's talk about The Amazing Spider-Man issue 15. Amazing Spider-Man epilogue. I know a lot of people were not impressed with the last issue of Spider-Verse because, like, oh, well, it didn't really wrap up everything. So if you're looking for wrap-ups, you get some of it in this issue, a little bit. At least of the other spiders, you get a good wrap-up. Cool cover. I like it. Get some cosmic eyes going on. Spider web. Pretty, you know, original, I guess? I don't want to say original, but, you know, we've seen it before. It's not original. I don't know. It's a cool cover. Let's see what's going on with the story. So with this issue, we get to see, again, the epilogue of Spider-Verse. So, what happens to these spiders when Spider-Verse is over? Do they go back to their time? And how did Spider-Verse actually affect anything? So, we start off with May's story. She goes back and realizes that her mom and Wes are still alive. Peter does not make it. Her father does not make it. And then Uncle Ben of his universe, the nuclear universe, so the Spider-Ben, he's like, you know what, I always want to be a grandfather, so I'm going to stay. So that's May's story, and also Mary Jane was able to salvage Peter's normal, regular Spider-Man costume to give to May, and May says, oh, well, now's the opportunity for me to be called Spider-Woman. Trust me, I'll talk about the whole scene and analyze that for you. Then the other spiders, they go back, and then there is kind of this Superior Spider-Man face-off, where Superior Spider-Man wants to destroy the Web of Life. He's like, oh, all these problems we've had because of it, so he's trying to destroy it, and Spider-Man's like, no, you can't destroy it. And one of the inheritors, the brother who's actually on the good side, he says, alright, now I'm going to be part of the Web of Life, that way I could build it together again. Because we find out that a future self of him was actually the person that was part of the Web of Life. And this also connects into Julia Carpenter's story that the Web of Life is now destroyed. So all the spiders aren't connected. You don't know the future. So maybe this is how Battle World happens. You can't really predict Battle World at all. So you get that. And also because the spider web is destroyed, the spiders don't have their spider sense as of right now. So once again, there's no spider sense, which doesn't quite make sense because in Spider-Gwen, Gwen has her spider sense. So maybe it's just some spiders, I don't know, but that's a bit of a plot hole probably in Spider-Gwen's book. Yeah, so the whole issue, again, Superior Spider-Man against Spider-Man, the Web of Life trying to be rebuilt, and that's pretty much it here. And also, the connection of the next Spider-Verse book happening, to try to recreate the web or help, like, save the web, try to protect the web. They're going to build a team. And who's going to be part of that team is not May. It's going to be Arena. May, I'm going to explain this, but May's not going to be in Spider-Verse. And the editors have been advertising it as she is going to be in Spider-Verse, but she's actually going to be in the MC2 book. So I'll talk about that in the review portion. But, yeah, so she won't be in that book. And that's pretty much it. And then you get to see Spider-Man, like, you know, doing his normal thing. So what do I think about this issue? Very solid issue. What is bad? I just want to say the negatives first. You know, there's still some things I feel like don't connect well in the other books. Like, oh, well, we don't have our spider sense. And then other books using the spider sense. So I would say editorial, in a way, needed to be fixed in this issue. You know, advertising a book that's not fully gonna, you know, the roster that's not fully happening in that Spider-Verse book. So editorial kinda in this issue was a bit off. Art was really good. You know, Superior Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man fight was something we saw coming. I wouldn't say there was a lot of surprises in this issue, but I thought it was a good wrap-up for what it was. I kind of wish more changed because Spider-Verse was such a big event. I wanted even more to happen, but I do think this was a very solid issue. So going into it, what did I think about the Web of Light being destroyed? I like that idea. I guess that was the aftermath of Spider-Verse, this Web of Light being destroyed. How this connects to Julia, hopefully we'll see in the future. Hopefully it's not just her waking up and like, that's it. Hopefully in the next couple of issues we'll actually see her doing something. She woke up from her coma, so that's a good thing. Maybe she'll be able to go to her daughter again or whatever, so we'll see that story progress. And again, Spider-Sense thing I already talked about, but I guess it's cool. Maybe we'll actually see change because the the Web of Light being destroyed, but I don't see them like changing that drastically, especially with Battleworld going into the future. I think we're going to get a couple of filler stories going on until Battleworld. So let's talk about the Spider-Verse thing. Just want to put that out there about the whole Spider-Verse Secret Wars story. Yeah, going back to the editorial thing, what's actually going to happen that they've not been advertised well? I've discovered this through Twitter and like other creators saying no, this is not actually happening. And I don't think many people know about it, so that's why I kind of want to say it here. May is not going to be in the Spider-Verse title. They did change it that May is going to be the MC2 universe title, which I'm very happy about. And Ron Frenz and Tom DeFalco are going to have a hand in that. So I'm very happy with that direction, that they're going to utilize her there. I think she has more of a purpose there. Her actual story could be dug into a bit more there, especially I trust Ron and Tom to do well with that. So that's what's happening. She's not going to be in the Spider-Verse title. I guess it's just going to be Arena that's replacing her. But yeah, I thought that was really weird that they keep advertising it that way, but it's not. That's not happening. She's in the MC2 universe book. So let's talk about May. Obviously, that's the biggest part here for me, personally. So May goes back to her house, and I'm happy that Mary Jane and Wes are alive. I'm glad that Mary Jane had that strength, that she helped Wes to get out of there. And it's so weird, because, you know, I've complained that Mary Jane has not been well written in Dan Slott's run of Amazing Spider-Man. But he writes Mary Jane so perfectly here. Honestly, I thought Mary Jane was kind of the best part of this issue, even though she was here for two pages. She was just so well written. It really reminded me of the MC2 universe Mary Jane. So it's so weird that, you know, Dan Slott could write her so well, but then regular Mary Jane is not well written at all. I think that's a little weird, but it's really great to see Mary Jane written well in an Amazing Spider-Man book. And I'm hoping we get to see more Mary Jane love in the future, especially with the next story arc of If One More Day Didn't Happen, that's connected to Secret Wars. I'm really excited for that. And it proves that we actually can get an interesting Mary Jane. And it's probably because you can't have you're not supposed to like Mary Jane at this point, because you don't want to see them together, or at least that's what they're trying to do. I personally am upset with that, but I think that's why Mary Jane's so dislikable in the current Amazing Spider-Man book. But going back to it, yeah, I really enjoyed that scene of them being alive. But I do have two nitpicks. One nitpick is that Uncle Ben kind of just invited himself to live there. He's like, you know, I've never been a grandfather. I guess I'll just stay here for now. It's like no one invited him. Like Mary Jane's like, hey, Uncle Ben, you want to stay? Not happening. He just invited himself to stay over that house. So I thought that was interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing Secret Wars, how that builds up, and how he, you know, how he integrates himself into the story. I think he'll just, you know, kind of replace Peter's place, which is upsetting, but I think he will. I don't think he's gonna go be a hero, but he'll still have his powers and just kind of be a mentor for May in a lot of ways. So I'm excited about that, even though he invited himself there, but I'm excited. And then my last nitpick is about the Spider-Woman line. It kind of felt awkward. I know I'm like nitpicking only 2 pages, but it's Spider-Girl. You know I can do that. So the Spider-Woman line where she's like, I am Spider-Woman. It's just like, oh, that was a kind of weird leap. You know, I don't think she had to change her name at all. And for me, I feel like it was taking away something from her. Because there's only 2 Spider-Girls, really. And I don't even count Irena as Spider-Girl. I always call her Irena. I think that's more based to her character. And I've had this discussion before, so I'm not going to elaborate more on that. But I just don't believe Irena is Spider-Girl. So, really, the only one true Spider-Girl is May, in my opinion. But there's so many Spider-Womans out there. There's been billions, trillions of Spider-Womans. So for her to change her name to Spider-Woman, it just kind of puts her in that group. She's not that name she built up for 100+ issues. And I never felt that Spider-Girl was this name thing. I felt like, let's say May was 30 years old, I wouldn't mind her being called Spider-Girl. I don't think there would have been a big difference for that. I just never wanted her to become Spider-Woman. I don't know. I guess it's just a thing for me. But I'm nitpicking at that portion, but I thought it felt a bit awkward the way they changed her name. But at the same time, I'm glad that she's honoring her father using his costume. I like that idea, even though I really do like the Ben Reilly tribute. I'm excited to see her in Peter's costume and honoring him. I'm excited to see where that story goes in Secret Wars. But yeah, overall, I did like the ending for May, but I just had those 2 little nitpicks of it. But I really liked that Mary Jane was still alive, Wes was still alive, and I liked what they did with that. So overall, I thought this was a very solid issue. I had some nitpicks here and there, but I thought this was better than the last issue with the ending of Spider-Verse. I thought this was the better ending for Spider-Verse. So Amazing Spider-Man issue 15, I give 4 stars. I thought it was a solid issue. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Spider-Girl, everything that happened in this issue. Let me know. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, in the description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.